I run a creative agency and I need a tool that can help me evaluate the creative I'm making for clients to help them save on things like A/B testing and market research. I'm test driving this new tool called the Creative Gauge AI from MSW Research, and in this recording and demo, we're going to preview how Meadow, the name of this AI, evaluates our creative.
One huge plus for me is that this is a mix between generative, causal, and predictive AI models trained on over 50 years of data and over 250,000 pieces of creative.
The benefit is that you don't run into the same problems you can have with traditional AI tools that can return synthetic data. On the MSW Research website, we're going to click up to our profile, and we're going to click Creative Gauge AI. So let's get started. We're going to go ahead and click Project. All right, so here we are in the project window. For this project name, we're going to call it Test Project. Perfect. Now for brand, this is a landscape software company called Pro Landscape Plus. Great. So for category, since this is software, I want to make sure I use the proper category. Now for project type, you can see we have video, print, audio and radio, static digital banners, animated digital banners, and more. We're going to select video. Now for default country, they're based in the United States, as are their clients, so we're going to leave that selected, but you can see the many other options you have available to you. And that goes the same with language. We're going to leave this at English, but you can see the many other options available. All right, now for the fun part. We can select choose files to upload our media, or simply just drag and drop, and you can see that upload begin. With this upload, you can add multiple creatives and evaluate each one. This way you can compare and contrast, like say when you're doing your own competitive research. So we're ready for the AI to evaluate our creative, and we're ready to check out. So we've submitted our project, and in just a few minutes, we're now looking at our project list, and we can see the status says complete. Let's click results and see our scores. Okay, so struggling in some areas and shining in others. You can see the 4 categories mentioned before: brand messaging, emotional connection, brand linkage, and advertising structure. Now, down below we look at Meadow's notes. Her description clearly calls out the creative and its objective accurately and proceeds to give us notes on each category to identify what changes can be made to improve the score before we spend a single dime advertising the video. So for brand messaging, we received a score of 96. Meadow's notes say the ad for the software helps sell landscape services and offers flexible subscription options. She then states that we do not showcase a competitive edge as to why a customer would use this over a competitor. So when we edit the creative, we'll be sure to add that in. We received a 19 for emotional connection. Meadow's notes call out that we should add more vibrant visuals of the software interface or add animated characters that can make an emotional connection with the audience. For brand linkage, we received a score of 56. Meadow calls out that adding the logo through the length of the creative could improve brand linkage, so we'll add that. Secondly, mentions adding an animated character that we can use for all marketing material so our audience relates that character to the brand, improving this metric. Lastly, for advertising structure, we scored well at 147, meaning the timing and structure of the content is well defined and placed within the creative. So now that we've reviewed this evaluation, we're going to speed through these edits and come back to re-upload and see how much we can improve our score. I'm applying each of the items Meadow recommended based on the 4 categories we went over before. While editing can take some time, it's faster, cheaper, and easier to gain these insights now and apply the changes. Most companies would be setting a budget to run these creatives and needing to make these edits in the future. Now that we've completed the changes, I'm back in my project dashboard. I'm going to create a new project, and I'm just going to call this Test Project V2. That way we can differentiate the 2 versions to compare later on. Now I'm just going to complete the additional fields with some of the information that I've applied before. And then we're just going to drag and drop our media. And you can see this is uploading. We already have our translation and country set. And now we can check out for our second version. Meadow has completed the evaluation. First, we'll take a look at the new creative by itself, and then we'll see how the 2 compare based on the recommendations Meadow provided. So first, I'm going to go to the results of the V2 creative. Look at how much our scores improved. We still have some work we could do, but for this client, I feel much stronger about these metrics in the 4 categories. Overall, the creative effectiveness score is a 139, and so that's a strong showing to run and test this creative and evaluate performance further once we have some budget behind it. As we look at the 4 categories, you can see Meadow feels that we've accomplished the goal of setting this software apart from its competition. The emotional connection could still be improved,
but we've definitely improved the score, adding some elements like an animated character and items like that. The brand linkage score has definitely improved, but you can see Meadow still offers insights on ways we can strengthen brand recall. Now, let's compare the two against each other to see how much time we saved before A/B testing or spending any advertising dollars on this creative. So the top row is the first version of the creative, and the second row is the second version. You can see the animated character and the GIF thumbnail that's provided. Look at our creative effectiveness score. That's drastically improved from 102 to 139. Our brand messaging, by differentiating ourselves from the competitors, has improved drastically, along with the emotional connection by adding the animated character Meadow recommended. Our brand linkage score has drastically improved by adding the logo throughout the creative and adding that animated character to strengthen brand recall. The advertising structure did decrease, but that may be because of the added elements causing confusion in the layout of the content. But overall, much improved. I really like test driving the Creative Gauge AI tool from MSW Research, and it's impressive the level of insight it gives against highly relevant categories. Even in this isolated example, we were able to save so much time by implementing the insights to improve the effectiveness of the creative. If you are constantly needing to split test or evaluate creative for your marketing efforts, contact MSW Research today and save time and money with your creative testing.